that. All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is our Rangers parent meeting for the 2024 season. For those of you that I haven't personally met yet, my name is Scott Ward. I'm the president of Rangers Baseball Club, or Bluegrass Rangers, as we go by most often. So, again, thank you all for jumping on. We'll take just a few minutes to run through a couple of things, just some key topics about the program, and certainly have some time at the end for Q&A and to go over any additional topics that we may not cover. So, quick agenda. I'll just start with a brief introduction of our leadership team, talk a little bit about the history and objectives of the Rangers Baseball Club as a whole. Then specifically talk through and walk through the 2024 program benefits and an overview of the program in general, and then wrap up with any Q&A that we may have at the end. So just a little bit about our structure as we go into an introduction for our leadership team. Rangers Baseball Club, Inc. Is set up as a 501c3 nonprofit organization recognized by the IRS. So we've had that status for a little over 2 years now, and have all of the benefits that come along with that. So that allows us to operate as a tax-exempt organization, accept donations, and all that good stuff. So as such, that also requires that we have a board of directors to lead and guide the operations of the team. And so just this past year, we formally adopted a board structure consisting of 9 positions. 5 of those, the first 5 that you see on the screen, are what we would call our executive committee. So those 5 positions basically constitute the voting membership for any key issues or decisions that need to be made for the board. And then we have 4 supplemental positions that help us with the ongoing operations. So you can see the names on there. I'll run through those real quick. So again, I'm Scott Ward, the president of the organization. Marcus Dean is newly elected as our vice president beginning for the 2024 season. His son Colin will be playing on the 8U team this year. Ashley Cropper is our secretary. She's been with the organization pretty much since we became independent 2 years ago, and I'll talk a little bit about that here in the history. Chris Clark is our treasurer, handles all the finances for us, is working to make sure that we are financially responsible and meet all of our commitments as a nonprofit organization. And then also joining new this year is Mr. Kevin Goldie. Kevin has been a part of the Bluegrass Little League board for many years and is exiting from that position after a very long period of service with Bluegrass Little League, and is coming over to support us as our board member at large. So if you're not familiar with that term, basically Kevin gets to do anything that I don't feel like doing and want to hand off to somebody. So that's his job that he has accepted. And then our support positions that help us with the operations aspects. New to the board this year is Andy Fryman. Andy was selected as our skill development supervisor, so his role will be to focus on developing and executing processes and systems and techniques to make sure that we are investing everything we possibly can into the development of these players, and not only players but our coaches as well. So that'll be in partnership with the team at DBAT. Andy will be bringing resources to each of the coaches and thinking about ways that we can continue to strengthen our focus on the development side of baseball, not just going out and competing and trying to win a ring on a Saturday or Sunday. Adrian Rout takes care of our uniforms as our uniform coordinator. You can probably imagine an organization that has grown to the size that we have, with looking at should be over 130, almost 140 players. Can be quite an undertaking in coordinating that. So she does a ton behind the scenes to ensure that we have everything that we need to make sure our players are looking good and are representing the brand effectively out in the marketplace as we go out and play. TJ Zakowski, a good friend of mine and coaching partner of mine, is our marketing director. He's been in the marketing industry for years and is helping us work through sponsorship opportunities, continuing to advance our brand in the marketplace as well, and looking at new and unique ways to leverage Bluegrass Rangers in the Central Kentucky area. And then the last position that's currently open is for a digital media manager. So this position be responsible for website design and updates, all of our social media accounts, and things such as media day, player photos, things like that. So for anybody that is on the call, if that is your forte and of interest, certainly let me know. Be happy to talk to you about that opportunity as our digital media manager. So that's the folks that will be leading the team for the 2024 season. I want to talk a little bit about kind of the history and the objectives of the program. So the Rangers program really started kind of becoming just really kind of a napkin conversation between Nathan Lowe and myself. Back in the summer of 2019, we were wrapping up our 8U Coach Pitch All-Star season, and Nathan had started having some conversations with an individual in Michigan that had developed a program similar to this. And so, just through the course of conversation and looking at opportunities, that it kind of quickly became a reality. So, as we began some planning and started doing some recruiting and thinking about could we get this thing up and running, we actually were able to form 4 teams going into the 2020 season. And then, of course, the worldwide pandemic hits. So that was certainly interesting, trying to get a fledgling organization up and running in the midst of a global pandemic. I had plenty of challenges with that. Fortunately, we were one of the few baseball organizations, Bluegrass Little League being, at the time, Western Little League, that was able to operate that summer, later into that summer. And so that did allow several of our Rangers teams to begin competitive play that summer of 2020. The following year, we expanded to 5 teams. And then for the 2022 season, you can see the asterisk there. That is the year we actually became an independent organization. So for the first 2 seasons, we partnered with Commonwealth Baseball Club here in Lexington, one of the largest travel baseball organizations in Kentucky. Typically, they focus on age groups from 13U and up, all the way through the high school level. And so we leverage their infrastructure, we leverage their facilities to kind of help get things started, and then realized we probably had an opportunity to improve the efficiency and how we were running the organization, and so had a very amicable split from them and became an independent organization there prior to the season 3, the 2022 year. So you can see the growth of the organization since that cocktail napkin at Anderson Dean Park in Harrodsburg in 2019. Now staring down as we enter into the 2024 season, we are confirmed for 11 teams. We'll have upwards of 140 players as part of the organization, which is extremely exciting to see how things have grown. And I think it's important to talk through the objectives of the program. The thing that's unique about the Rangers Baseball Club and our Bluegrass Rangers is that it's really the only program in the area that has a focus on combining and maintaining that community-based league play with season-long competitive tournament action. A lot of leagues have all-star teams, and they get together and they play throughout the summer. Where our program differs is, 1, in the developmental focus aspect, but 2, the fact that our teams really get together and begin as early as January. In fact, many of them, as you all may know, NRB participating in, are already working together as new teams for the 2024 season. And ultimately, the key focus and what is important to understand as we enter into the new season is that this is a supplemental development program to support, primarily to support Bluegrass Little League. Now, we do have a couple of our older age divisions with our 13U and up that have slightly different expectations and guidelines, but for our 7U through 12U teams, that expectation or requirement to play in the spring season at Bluegrass Little League just reinforces this objective and the intent that our entire goal is to make better players among Bluegrass Little League, ultimately so that those players can represent the league and compete in the official Little League tournaments held each summer. I know one of my goals and objectives just personally is to one day send a team from Bluegrass Little League to Williamsport to compete in the Little League World Series, and I'm confident that our Rangers program can help achieve that one day. I'll pause there. Any questions or anything around the history or objectives of the program before we kind of move into the 2024 overview? All right, well, I'll continue right along. So we'll talk through several topics. I'm going to flip over to a different page that is pretty much posted on our website. Talk a little bit about player registration fees, tournaments and schedule commitments, highlights of our Rawlings uniform program and partnership, and then also our DBAT, our partnership with DBAT Lexington. What teams and players and individuals can expect out of that partnership, and how you as an individual can take advantage of that. So I'm going to kick over to this kind of one page or two page memo here. Let me zoom up just a little bit, make sure you can see that here. So player fees is something that, as a board, and personally me as the president, are always very cognizant of trying to maintain and keep those as low as we possibly can while still operating a quality program and a quality product. So team fees this year will range from $525 to $600. That varies by team, primarily because the cost of tournament entry goes up as you get into the older age groups. So entry fee for a 12U or 13U team can be more than double what it is for a 7U team. And so those fees are going to be higher as the age groups progress. Teams are expected and will compete in a minimum of 7 tournaments. That's actually an increase. Last year our expectation was 6. And based on a lot of feedback from parents from our 2023 parent survey, overwhelmingly the desire was to have an opportunity to play in more tournaments. And so I've been working diligently with our partners among the Bluegrass Little League Board of Directors and trying to make sure that we can make that happen with some scheduling enhancements and things like that. So teams will be expected to play a minimum of 7 tournaments. Several of those would be hosted, most likely, unless something changes, at Cardinal Run, including our 2 flagship tournaments, so the Bluegrass Summer Shootout, which is typically in mid-July, and our Rangers Rodeo event in late July, early August. From a calendaring perspective, those tournaments could begin as early as the weekend of March the 9th, with an expectation to wrap up no later than August 25th. Now, you'll see that doesn't include September through October, November. Some teams will opt to go ahead and either have practice activities and or compete in some fall tournaments. And while certainly we do support those are typically outside of the typical program expectations. And so when we talk about player fees and DBAT access and things like that, any of that fall activity is typically a one-off that each coach and each team are opting to go ahead and get into. Uniform perspective, we are partnered with Rawlings for our uniform program. So the player entry fee or the player registration fee does provide 2 complete uniforms. So 2 jerseys, pants, hats, 2 pair of socks, belt, everything but cleats for the most part. That they will need to show up and look good to represent the Bluegrass Rangers brand on the field. That'll also include some practice apparel. Last year was just a t-shirt. We're looking to try to expand that this year and maybe do some additional things. Either it could be a pair of shorts or maybe a batting cage jacket. Just have to kind of see what we can work in without increasing any of the costs to our parents. One thing that, a lot of programs, be it league or travel, club ball, there's typically an aspect of fundraising that in a lot of cases is mandatory. In other words, when you sign the agreement for that program, you are committing to contribute X amount of dollars from fundraising. We don't have that from a firm commitment. In fact, all teams last year conducted some sort of a team-based fundraising. And that's to be able to provide players with things like coordinating helmets, backpacks, other equipment, team bats that may be beneficial, and in some cases to offset player fees. One of the things that we've introduced this year is a more formal financial aid process for families that would like to participate, but that player fee may be a challenge to cover the entire cost of that. We do have some very, very limited funds available for scholarships, partial scholarships, and so we've implemented a process and an online request form to do that. So there are teams that may opt to do fundraising to help support that cause either among their team or among the entire program. And then lastly, Is DBAT facility access. So this is kind of one of the nice perks that we entered into an agreement with 2 years ago when we did break off from Commonwealth Baseball Club. Is our partners at DBAT have really kind of stepped up to the plate and made the Rangers program their primary team-based organization that they support throughout the winter months. Now, we're not the sole and the only. There will be other teams in there, but we have some pretty unique aspects of our agreement that they don't offer to other clubs. Beginning the first week of January, teams will have access to 36 hours of cage access within those first 9 weeks of the calendar year for 2024. So we're still working through the details, but most likely what that will look like will be one weeknight session at the facility and one weekend evening session at the facility. Those 36 hours are to be used at the coach's discretion. They can reserve batting cages, pitching cages. There's an upstairs kind of large turfed area that can do fielding drills, speed and agility, footwork, all those kind of things. So we'll be able to effectively schedule those cage hours with our coaches and make sure that they are able to execute their training and development plans however they see fit. On top of that, each team will receive 12 instructor-led mini clinics. One of the aspects of the program that we recognize is that while all of our head coaches are volunteers, and in most cases are parents of players, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, we recognize the value in having professional instructor-led training and development. And so we've built that into the program for each team to have up to 12 of these 1 hour clinics, each of those with up to 6 players, or in the case of a pitching clinic, up to 4. So, you could expect your individual child to have, between 4 to 6 hours of small group instruction with a DBAT instructor on top of their cage time with their team. And then a little bit of a revision this year on optional lesson bundles available for purchase. You can see 3 different options there. It all works out basically, you can do the dirty math, the cocktail napkin math. It works out to $25 per half-hour lesson. Their standard rate, and pretty common across the industry, their book rate for non-members at DBAT is $40 per half-hour lesson. Even their platinum members that receive a 30% discount, still that's $28 plus tax on top of that. So at $25 per half-hour lesson, you'd be hard-pressed to find any quality instructor that is going to be able to get that for the rate. Now, what I will say is the Rangers program, we pay more than that. So if you, as a parent, go online to our website and purchase this 6 30-minute lesson bundle for $150, you're paying $150 for that bundle. I'm paying more than that as the Rangers program. We as in the Rangers program, covers a portion of the true cost of those lesson packages. There's just no way DBAT can make money and the instructors can make money at $25 per lesson. It's just not reality. But one of the ways that we utilize proceeds from the tournaments that we host, sponsorship proceeds from corporate level sponsors, is by, number one, keeping our registration costs down, but number two is by paying for a portion of these lesson bundles. So if you walk into DBAT and say, hey, I need a 6 30-minute lesson bundle, they're going to tell you it's $240. If you go through our website and purchase it as a Rangers member, you'll get that same exact lesson bundle for $150. So just one of the ways that we as an organization are investing financially in the development of our players is by offering these discount lesson bundles to our parents. And then last couple of things, 15% discount at the Pro Shop. So whether or not you're a member of DBAT or not, as long as you let them know and they have you on file, you'll receive a 15% discount for most items in there. They may have some things that they don't discount, but I don't think I've ever run across anything that they didn't take that off of. And then for those individuals that are interested in purchasing a membership at DBAT, which would get you access to the automatic pitching cages, larger discounts on in the pro shop, things like that. They do offer discount rates for both their gold level and platinum level memberships, and those are covered in the FAQ document. So that's the, I guess, kind of the nickel tour of the program benefits for 2024. A lot of folks are, always want to know, well, what exactly am I paying for when I'm going to write this check or sign up online for this program? And that's the primary overview of the program, including the benefits and what you can expect to receive as a parent. So I am going to go back to our main page here and open it up for any Q&A that you may have. And in fact, I'll go on camera to do so. All right. Well, in the world of professional presenting, 7 seconds is the mandatory amount of time that you have to allow silence for folks to be able to come off mute and ask a question. And I think we exceeded that. So, again, this information that I shared is posted on our website at bluegrassrangers.com. If you go to the About Us section under the program information link, you'll see everything that I shared from that FAQ document on there as far as those program benefits. Registration opened last Friday and is open through September the 15th. Certainly, there are several different payment plan options on there. And if you have any questions about registration or anything else, you can always reach me. Admin at bluegrassrangers.com is the best way to get in touch with me, or any of the contact information online will work as well. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up the call. I appreciate everyone's time joining tonight, and I hope you all have a great fall and a great season, and I look forward to meeting you all in person very soon if I haven't had the pleasure so far. Thanks, and have a good rest of the night.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Sarah.